inside El Chapo's crazy super maximum security prison cell. If you're trying to arrest the country's most wanted person, who's escaped prison not once, but twice, with many loyal followers who would give their lives for him, you might as well have a special prison cell to keep him behind the bars. We're talking about a kingpin, a drug lord, the most powerful drug trafficker in the world, a criminal with an estimated net worth of $12 billion, Joaquin Guzman, or as you might know him, El Chapo. El Chapo is a Mexican drug lord who's responsible for the murders of thousands of people. He is also the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, a criminal organization that is known for smuggling large quantities of illegal drugs, including cocaine, methamphetamines, and marijuana, into the United States. He's known to be the most influential drug lord of all time. He was arrested by police multiple times, and he was able to escape from prison not just once, but twice. How, you may ask? Let me help you out with that. One of these escapes was so massive that it will totally blow your mind. A mile-long tunnel was dug beneath the maximum security prison to free El Chapo. Not a cheap way to run, mind you. The tunnel had proper lighting, management, and it was very well ventilated as well. As if it was not an escape route, but a luxury path created to take a king back home, from right under the noses of authorities. After being on for years, he was ultimately recaptured in 2016 and was extradited to the United States in 2017. In 2019, he was convicted of multiple federal criminal charges and is serving a life sentence at the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility in Florence, Colorado. But how do we ensure that he won't escape again? And what makes the authorities so secure that they found one secure prison that he won't be able to escape from here? Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is serving a life sentence at the United States Penitentiary Administrative Maximum Facility, ADX, in Florence, Colorado. The ADX is a federal Supermax prison that's considered to be one of the most secure prisons in the United States. It's designed to hold prisoners who are considered to be the most dangerous, or what society considers monsters, and do not commit crimes for fame and money, but to watch the world burn. This is the type of inmates who are in there and need the highest level of security, because who knows what will happen if they're left free. Before we answer that question, here is a question for you. Do you like to keep yourself updated with more such content? Because if you do, you should definitely hit the subscribe button. By liking this video, you can help us with the YouTube algorithm. With that, let's see the special changes made to the maximum security prison cell for El Chapo. So what is special about this one, and how is it different from other prisons? Well, let me help you out. To begin with, the ADX Florence prison is infamous as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. That might sound weird, but wait till I tell the story behind this. The Alcatraz, as some of you might know, was the most secure prison of all time. It's built on a small island and is infamous to be used for storing the biggest criminals of all time. ADX Florence Supermax occupies 49 acres of land on the outskirts of a small rural town in Colorado. Originally built to house 490 inmates, this impenetrable facility has never been full and currently houses 343 of the most high-profile criminals the world has ever seen and heard of. Infamous names like Zacarias Moussaoui, a member of Al-Qaeda and the only person convicted for the terrorist attacks on 9/11, Ted Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, and Timothy McVeigh, responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing that took the lives of 168 people, including 19 children. The prison is divided into 6 different security levels that vary in their levels of restriction: general population, the special housing unit, the special security unit or H unit, the control unit, intermediate or transitional units, and range 13. The general population is the least restrictive unit, as all inmates within this unit are subject to 23-hour lockdowns with just an hour of recess each day. They're also given phone call privileges that they have to earn. Their 1 hour of freedom is spent in an indoor swimming pool, like a concrete pit that's built in such a way inmates won't have an idea where in the prison facility they are. As restrictive as this sounds, El Chapo isn't in this unit. The H unit houses criminals that have been deemed terrorist groups by the Department of Justice, notorious individuals like Umar Abdul Muttalib. Stay in this unit, and one of the defining features of this unit is the fact that the cells there don't have a shower. Rather, prisoners are escorted to a shower by guards several days a week. El Chapo is not in this unit. The unit Chapo resides in is in the most restrictive and is called Range 13. Range 13 is a special 4-cell wing within the special housing unit. Before El Chapo, only 2 other criminals have publicly been thrown into Range 13. Thomas Silverstein, the most violent criminal in the history of the United States, and Ramzi Youssef, responsible for the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Is the reason why El Chapo is sharing a prison wing with the worst criminals in history is because of his history with maximum security facilities? So why don't we compare his old prison escapes with the design at ADX Florence and see if he could pull off a Schofield here at ADX Florence? El Chapo knew what an American prison meant, so he planned a ridiculously simple escape plan by escaping in a laundry basket by a guard in the prison in ADX Florence. That would be impossible, because guards are not allowed to interact with the inmates under any circumstances. But maybe we have this all wrong. Everyone knows that most escapes come from corrupt, bribable prison officials. Even if he tries to bribe any official, they would have already gone through a rigorous vetting process, meaning it would be extremely difficult to bribe them, because both the guards and inmates are constantly rotated and closely watched, and beyond that, anyone scheming to free inmates of this facility, some of whom are considered enemies of the state, may as well consider themselves a dead man. It's not a wise thing to do to go against the United States of America. Let's consider his second ADX Florence versus El Chapo's second prison escape. After 13 years, El Chapo was once again captured. This time, it took a joint effort between the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, the DE, and Mexican Marines. His cell had no windows. Inmates were not allowed to talk to each other, and they were not allowed to reach out to family members either. El Chapo spent 23 hours in solitary confinement in a cell that had 1 bed, 1 shower, and a single toilet. Any visitations by the family had to first be approved by a judge, and the only luxury he was afforded was $48 a month for personal hygiene products. A little over a year later, El Chapo escaped once again. It turns out that El Chapo's men, led by his wife, had been digging a mile-long tunnel for 4 months that lay directly underneath the shower, with the help of a smartwatch that someone had smuggled in. Some of the reasons El Chapo was able to get his gang members to build a tunnel underneath the second prison he escaped from was because 1. He had bought the land around the prison there in Mexico. 2. He'd gotten another corrupt guard to smuggle a smartwatch in for him. And 3, the prison had a blind spot. ADX Florence has no blind spots. It's a fortress that cost $60 million to build. It's surrounded by rocks on all sides, and there's an army base, Fort Carson. The only way out for the man is in a body bag. Life in Range 13 is so bad that the former guards have disavowed the prison, calling it inhumane, and it's not inhumane for the reasons you may think. The only kind of torture in ADX Florence is isolation and deafening silence. The prison is the way the worst of the worst go in. ADX inmates are locked up 23 hours a day in a 7 by 12 foot cell that features a desk, stool, and beds. Each of these pieces of furniture is made from the same material that the cell is made from, poured concrete. The cells are also soundproofed, so inmates can't communicate with anybody except their imagination. It's also constructed to be so deliberately disorienting that the prisoners never know where in the prison they are. Inmates will find it hard to hurt themselves in the cell even if they tried. The sinks come without taps, so they can't be turned into weapons. The toilets shut off if clogged, and the showers run on a scheduled timer. Entertainment in the cells is reduced to a black and white TV that plays repeated educational and religious recordings. Daily, Even the food they eat is monitored. It's hand-delivered by the guards so that inmates won't have an opportunity to meet one another. There's a small window in each cell, but it only gives them a view of the sky, and every cell is fitted with pressure pads that allow the guards to know where the prisoner is within their cell at any given time. The entire facility is also surrounded by motion detector cameras and thick steel doors for extra protection. And yes, everything is controlled remotely from a control room. The entire facility can be shut down with a single panic button in the event of an emergency. Conditions at Supermax prisons have been criticized by some as being overly harsh, with prolonged solitary confinement and a lack of access to adequate healthcare and rehabilitation programs. However, these facilities are typically used to hold inmates who are considered to be particularly dangerous or disruptive, and are seen as necessary for the safety and security of both inmates and staff. So this is it for today's video. We hope that you liked it. For more such amazing criminal documentaries, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and share this video with your mates. We'll bring more content your way. So